So again, if we look at what happened in Tehran these days, and so there is a participation in each other's life that is just unparalleled before. So the global part is very clear to all of us. What is clearly less obvious is the citizenship part, because there are billions of people that simply do not have a state. Basically, they have a state in name, but very often they are not even recorded at birth. They don't exist legally anywhere. And there are millions more that are just forced to move from the countries of origin, and they live in refugee camps, or they live in other countries that is not their own. And there are an enormous amount that are clearly unwelcome elsewhere. We see that very clearly in the United States, in Europe, but in Japan too. I mean, the immigrant is not certainly a citizen in many countries, right? There is a distinction quite sharply between being a citizen of a country and being a citizen of the world. So there is a tension between the two, and I think that this tension is very problematic, is wrong, is epistemologically wrong. We are human beings, are just human beings first. The citizenship construct is a subsequent imposed identity. It's not an identity that each of us has in any way at the moment of birth. And the role that I see of education is bridging exactly this gap, is making sure that people understand that citizenship in this world, with everybody in this world, is a primary identity for each of us, and that the globalized experience is actually based on expression of a fundamental equality that we see recognized in many important documents, human rights, and so on. But the fundamental recognition is that we are human first, and that our political construct is subsequent, and therefore we need to address this gap between one and the other that is creating an enormous amount of suffering, an enormous amount of creative waste, because a lot of people never study, are never given the condition to really flourish in their capacity to have a productive life that is good for everyone. And I think it's just unacceptable. So I'm delighted that you invited me here, because I think that the more we can do to encourage, support, and actualize global citizenship education, the better the world could be or could become, and so on.
Perhaps one of the merits of this discussion of what is global citizenship education is that it brings back on the table questions about our position as citizens in these super connected societies. And I'm using societies on purpose because I want to value diversity. So one of the merits of this pedagogical platform, as I like to call it, global citizenship education, is exactly that it elicits discussions on the purposes of education, the purposes of us as human beings in relation to humans, no humans, and of course in relation to peace and dialogue.